Hello, welcome to PODnas. This is a sports show with a Cajun flair. I'm Daniel Hawks. That's Jared Roser. Today, we're going to go over a little college baseball for dummies. I'm the dummy. USC is getting cold feet and a little NBA Finals preview. Jarrett, how are we doing today?
Good, man. Tigers win on a Friday afternoon and sweated it out
Okay,
a little
so
bit.
let's hop right into it. I know nothing. I'm Jon Snow
Oh,
about
oh,
college
I know.
baseball. I thought that we were we ranked, and then I see that we're not ranked, but we're still in the tournament. I guess we're good enough to be on the bubble. I don't know what's going on. Fill me in. I literally know nothing.
Yeah, I don't even know. I was about to start by asking you, hey, so what do you know about this, or are you
Yeah,
aware of this?
I know
But
the
I
rules
feel
of
like
baseball, and college baseball uses metal bats.
we're
That's
we're pretty blank slate for you right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't this team supposed to be good?
Y-
Why were we down to Wofford? And I know we came back and won. Well, yay. But,
As of a couple minutes ago, you do know that.
I do know that. Yeah.
So you probably are aware that I think if you remember, LSU was the national champion last year, as well as the Jello shot champion of Omaha last year. And so obviously, I mean, you grew up in Baton Rouge. There's high expectations around the
Yeah.
LSU
Yeah.
baseball program every single year, and certainly on the heels of a national championship, that there were some high expectations for this team as well. I don't know if you're super aware of the fact that about 3 weeks ago, this was like an NCAA bubble team. It was, how many wins do they need to get just to like scrape into the field until they swept Ole Miss the last weekend of the regular season. They sort of built up, had some strong weekends, and then swept Ole Miss to end the regular season. Got hot, especially in the SEC tournament, and kind of cruised their way through some teams. Had some big comeback and just kind of traditional clutch LSU games when it mattered most to get to the conference championship game before they fell to Tennessee. So they entered this weekend as a 2 seed in the North Carolina regional, won 7 of their last 8, and were quickly down 2-0 to Wofford for most of the game today before they come back and end up winning 4-3 on a walk-off by a guy that you probably are going to want to get to know here pretty soon. Freshman switch hitting short king second baseman Stephen Monster Milam with his second walk-off
Okay.
homer of the past week.
But here's my question. What's his walk-up song? Okay.
I don't know Milam's walk-up song. I was really enjoying Hayden Travinsky's Welcome to Jamrock earlier, and also a couple times last week. But Milam, again, I mean, freshman in that lineup, and becomes the first LSU player with 2 walk-off hits in the span of a week since the 1940s, except
Nice.
both of this kid who they call Monster, dating back to, you're going to love every bit of this.
I'm already in.
Apparently the story is he was such a hairy child that his dad or his family were like, you're like a little monster. And so it's not like a new, hey, I'm good at baseball, I'm going to start calling myself a monster
No, this
story.
is like an Elmo type
Yeah.
monster.
Also, I can't forget this, and we'll probably throw a picture up of this week. He has his short cut hair bleached with purple tiger stripes through it. Um, and, and he's just building his own little legend each time out
I
at this point.
I'm already in. I will not miss another game. All right.
And
I will
hey, I
not miss.
mentioned I mentioned the switch hitting because he hit 2 homers today, one from each side of the plate.
I, I'm in. I'm
I
all in.
count the curse jar on that one too.
Oh no, I think that's our we're at double digits for the curse jar. We're gonna buy something so nice once we get done with this season, whenever that may be. We're gonna have so much. All right. Oh
But
my god. Yeah, I'm in on Monster. All
yeah,
right.
just kind of, I guess, I mean, bringing it full circle, LSU essentially went from bubble team a few weeks ago to now as hot as arguably anyone in the country. They've risen up to where they're like third or fourth best betting odds to potentially win the whole
Okay.
damn thing.
That's what I was
I
gonna
mentioned,
ask. How is it looking for the rest of the field? How does it look like we're gonna play out? Are we in contention to make it to Omaha, or especially with how hot we're playing right now?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the name of the game at this point. Is like in most sports, when it gets down to a certain point, if there's a requisite amount of talent, which certainly at LSU is going to be the case every year, who's healthy and who's hot, and LSU is both of those things right now. They're in a regional with North Carolina, who's a high national seed, and so things will get really interesting tomorrow, theoretically, if those are the two teams in the winners bracket there. But LSU is becoming kind of a not only a hot baseball team, but a hot gambling pick for folks to make Omaha and potentially contend for a national championship. But we'll see. Long way away, but they seem like they're hitting their stride at the right time. And also of note for you, I don't have as many details on these other teams, but there are 6 Louisiana programs in the field, which ties the
Okay.
record back in 2000 with 6 Louisiana reps in there.
Okay. Hey, we love to show some Louisiana some love. That didn't make sense. Love showing Louisiana love. All right. I love it when Louisiana is loving baseball.
Yeah.
Oh, that is great. Let's move on to the next thing. A report came out recently that USC has been trying to back out of the LSU game, the game versus LSU, the opener this year in Vegas. It tickles my fancy that they're getting cold feet. Ever since Lincoln Riley was hired, this is a report from Sports Illustrated that they have tried to get out of this game since Lincoln Riley was hired. I don't really think that's a good look. That
No.
also makes me really excited to play them, and I want to stomp the ever living heck out of them. I'm not going to curse Jar twice today. What do you think about that? I think it's hilarious, especially with all the noise of Lincoln Riley possibly being the LSU coach when he decided that he was going to leave Nebraska. Just as funny to me. That's all I'm going to say. I'll let you get on your soapbox.
Yeah, I mean, throw up the Kobe soft gif, or take
Yeah.
the scene from Life. Like, don't be scared. Nah, don't be scared. You mentioned the tie of, was Lincoln Riley going to potentially be the LSU coach, and that whole, I mean, for weeks the speculation of that, and then he heads out west. He left an Oklahoma program that is joining the SEC, and so there was a lot of talk at that point of Lincoln Riley kind of running from the SEC or avoiding the SEC, and this just, with that
Oh yeah.
background context, compounds that exponentially. And I don't know that there's a way to look at this and defend it against saying it's soft, even if you try to give some credence to realizing that they will have a difficult schedule regardless, and you're ultimately trying to maximize your chances of getting to a 10-2-ish record and making the playoffs. And why cost yourself or risk yourself an early loss? At the end of the day, whatever logical and mathematical arguments you try to put into place at that point, the fact that that game is on the schedule and you are actively working to try to get away from it, it fits into all of those categories. And in that hyper competitive of a world where there's no way for anyone outside of your little bubble to objectively look at it and not think, hey, man, that's kind of soft. That's just not good
It's
optics right there.
1000%. Oh my god. It just makes me so excited to get there.
And
I want Go ahead.
what's crazy, so obviously there's a lot of turnover at USC. Caleb Williams is the number 1 NFL draft pick. You're trying to rebuild that roster in a lot of ways. And so I've heard that piece of it, of not wanting to have this big high profile game
But
against an
us
SEC team.
too.
Yeah, exactly. How
Like,
much of,
oh, you
who
lost
had,
one. Yeah, we lost 3 in
yeah,
in the
you know
top
who had
whatever
more
15.
first round NFL draft picks this past year that they're replacing? Yeah,
Yeah.
LSU.
Yeah.
LSU also, we've seen in these Florida State games, is not exactly, coming out of the gates on fire to start some of these seasons under Brian Kelly. And so I don't really have um, a lot of empathy for
No.
Lincoln Riley and
I've got
USC at
no
the moment.
empathy for Los Angeles, okay?
The
For the
city of Los Angeles.
University of Southern California. I have none whatsoever. They can take that fake championship and chunk it into the fucking Pacific. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this since 2003, 2004, whenever that was.
Yeah, I think I mean a lot of this state and this region I think have been, and look, there are plenty of people around the country who don't care for LSU. I think there are that many more who don't care for USC, or I mean in a lot of cases just for various reasons, sports or otherwise, just have a little anti-California sentiment to them. And so
Oh,
I'm interested to see what the outside of Southern California and Louisiana, what the national vibe is as this game approaches. And I don't think that these reports help people favor USC by
no,
any
no.
means.
And also, I can tell you from up here that oh, I don't know what Notre Dame fans are gonna be with us, but especially with us having their old coach. I don't know if they'll be at a crossroads, but I think they hate USC enough to jump on that LSU bandwagon for a night. That's what I'm
We,
expecting. So,
we need to get you out there in the streets of Chicago like a
oh,
fast-paced Billy Eichner just corralling Notre Dame
oh,
fans.
I'm so
And
down to do that. I'm just wearing all purple. Just LSU. Oh my god, we're doing that. Okay, we'll absolutely do that. I'm so down. Put it on the book, the PODnas book. We're doing it. But anyway, FUSC. I have those. Can we get those bumper stickers back? Have those come back? Those were my favorite.
I yeah, I don't know, man. I feel
Okay.
like I don't know when the last time I saw them, but I think that's a thing that just kind of floats around, whether bumper stickers, t-shirts, whatever, that I wouldn't bat an eye to see it or be surprised by it.
Yeah, I may just get one tattooed just on my chest right here. I think it'll be good. I don't think I'll regret that at all.
No, that's just smart business right there.
Hey, there we go. Last but not least, NBA Finals matchup. We got it set. It's Mavs, it's Celtics. Just want to tell you guys, I was wrong about every single prediction this playoffs. Just absurdly wrong. Like not even in like the area. I said both these series were going 7. They didn't. I said the Mavs weren't going to make it out of the first round. They did. I wanted Boston to get knocked off by someone else. They didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stay out of the prediction game, but I'm excited to watch 4 of the best players in the NBA go head to head. What's your take on it? Who do you got? If I'm staying out of the prediction game, but feel free. I want Boston to lose. That's the only thing that I
Sure.
want. So any prediction is going to skew that way.
Sure. I might have even said on one of our previous conversations that as much as I was enjoying watching Minnesota and hoped that Minnesota would beat Dallas, that if Dallas won that series, I would immediately flip and hope that Dallas wins, just not wanting Boston to win. But I do think Boston will win, particularly if, as expected, they have Kristaps Porzingis back in the fold by the time this all starts. I was super impressed with Dallas in that conference finals. I said at the beginning of the playoffs, I thought they were probably the biggest threat to Denver coming out of the West. Or really, I think I said they're the biggest threat to a Denver versus Boston finals matchup out of either conference. And so here they are heading to the NBA finals. And as much as we watched a team in Minnesota trying to learn and not being ready to win at that level yet, I think that Western Conference Finals was less about Ant's lack of readiness and more about how unbelievable Luka and Kyrie were, and a lot of
Yeah.
those role players around them and how well they're playing right now. Um, and so I think
I
it's going to
mean,
be a really fun.
Lively missed one shot yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of those
li-
are easy, but that's Lucas put him in a position to just slam the ball in, but that's still unbelievable.
Yeah, Lively's been unreal as a rookie and as a guy that would probably fit really well into what the Pels are looking for at a
Yeah.
5, and got drafted 2 picks right before them this past year. And so that's been interesting to watch from a Pels
I think
perspective. But
I think you sent this in a text message that someone said or tweeted or whatever that Derek Lively is what the Pelicans wanted Jackson Hayes to be.
Oh yeah, spot on. I think that was a great spot on tweet. I remember seeing it. I don't remember who it was, but
Yeah.
absolutely. And
Uh,
yeah, so I think Dallas is going to go into this series and be ready, and particularly the way we saw this Western Conference Finals start, where Kyrie realized he's the vet that's been on some of these stages more than anyone else on the team, and now he heads
that
back
was
to
so
Boston.
evident. That was so
Yeah,
evident in this last series and in the playoffs. Besides, a couple games where he had some rough stretches here or there, but like it's been super evident that Kyrie's been there before.
yeah, and so now that component plus going back to Boston to open this series, I think is going to be really fun to watch how he tries to come out of the gate and kind of set the tone for the team. And
And the
I,
Unicorn playing Dallas again. We got a bunch of people
yeah,
playing their old team. So
I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch some of the storylines. I think Dallas is playing as well as anyone right now. They're hitting their stride really at the right time, and Luka is making his case as if not the best player in the world, among the best players in the world. But I also think that Boston is far better equipped to try to defend those guys than certainly than Minnesota was, and maybe than anyone else in the league is, with the backcourt of Drew and Derek White and what they bring, plus those two wings, two-way legitimate good
yeah,
plus defender wings in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. So their ability to
yeah,
switch as much as they can switch, and everybody be able to slow down. You're not going to stop Luka, but I mean
no,
contain him better than
it's
Minnesota was able to.
whoever can dictate their pace in the game, whether it's Dallas or however Boston, whoever can kind of get their kind of mark on that, I think is gonna it's gonna see the Larry O'Brien Trophy, and the which is a super that was you see that I just gave analysis. All right. Whoever can
Hey,
dictate the pace of their pace in a basketball game is probably going to win. Just put it in
yeah,
the books. New
that's
apartment, new
insightful.
me.
Yeah.
I've got
Or look, you can ask for Luca's take of what is it going to take for Dallas to beat Boston. He'll say, if Dallas played better basketball than Boston, then yeah, just
uh
crushing it.
I really that's who I look for. I also complain to refs just as much as Luca does. So if I even trip, I look for a ref and try to talk about how, I should be on the line shooting two.
I I've known you long enough that this is not remotely surprising. I think we're now deep enough in episodes into this that I don't know that the viewers are surprised here.
That's all we want. I just want you guys to know uh, that I am truly as much of a dumpster fire as you think. All right. I bring the ruckus into my daily life.
And that's your
Oh,
look. We talked about a lot of stuff, guys. That's your takeaway for today and for this week.
yeah. And also I hope in your weekend in your life you bring the ruckus. That's all I really want. That's all I want to impart to our viewers. We're gonna keep talking basketball until there's no more basketball to talk because I know that both Jared and I love it. So hope you guys are enjoying this. Please follow us on Instagram at podnas_LA. Comment, like, share the video. We love to see that, and we love chatting back and forth with y'all when you do comment. So, got anything else, Jared?
No, man. We want to keep these manageable show lengths or whatever, and it's just a good weekend to watch while we have this gap in NBA action. Obviously, there's still a lot going on. WNBA is kind of kicking into gear. We're in the middle of the college baseball regionals, softball college World Series, so a lot going on from the Louisiana perspective. Obviously, watching Angel up in Chicago and some of those
Yeah.
former LSU women's players, and watching these six baseball teams do their thing.
Hey, we love to see it. And go Tigers. Let's get out of Chapel Hill with that W. All right. Podnas out.